after landing in South Florida and kicked off their recent road trip with a bang. A good start turned not so good in a hurry. They went from a full sprint to pulling up in pain. And that was just the beginning as others began to fall from the roster. The final day had hope, but it wasn't in the cards for the Phillies, and they walked off and back home looking to change their rocky ways. The Phillies are looking for a little home cooking to break their slide offensively as they get set to begin a 9-game homestand with 2 against the National League West leaders, the Colorado Rockies. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Gary Matthews. Wheels will be along in just a little while. Well, last year when the Phillies and the Rockies got together, everybody thought, Sarge, it was going to be a preview of a postseason matchup. Well, in the regular season, the Phillies certainly had the Rockies' number.
Yeah, you're right. They got good pitching then, and knowing particularly good hitting. You got to have that to win series there. Game 1, you can see Holiday on the mound. You almost expect to win when he's out on the mound. They're always under control there, Tom. You can see how he's throwing his pitches. He pitches out of the zone.
Well, he kind of set the tone for this series in game number 2. Ryan Howard, with the bases loaded, just fed this one right down the right field line. This turned out to be a bases clearing triple, and you could sense that things were going the way of the Phillies, at least in this 4-game series here in Philadelphia.
Well, you got to have momentum, and that's exactly what they had on this wild pitch as J-Ro comes running in, hesitated just a little bit, end up winning Game 3 there. That's what you want to do.
And it kind of snowballed in game number 4. The Rockies were very tentative. Their defense not so good. In fact, this throwing error was the first of a couple of key errors in this ballgame that led to a Phillies victory. Jason Giambi, well, he just kind of pulled the string on that toss, and the Phillies were able to score the game-winning run at that point. And last year, the Phillies dominated the Rockies. They hit .317. They scored 49 runs. They obviously hit well out in Colorado, too.
Well, they did hit well. That's what you have to do. Getting timely hitting is what it's all about. They did that last year, and more so, they had a lot of energy. Tom, right now, so far this year, I don't think they've matched that energy they've had last year.
All right, so they're trying to find their energy offensively. Now, from a starting pitching standpoint, over the last 11 games, the Phil starters, Sarge, have gotten into the 7th inning on average in every ball game, but the numbers have not been on the side of the Phillies.
Yeah, instead of 2-6, should be maybe 6-2. They have pitched very well. Look at the home runs, only giving up 6 home runs, but again, you got to have offense. I think the pitchers are trying to make 2 perfect pitchers right now because they know they can't give up a lot of runs.
I think we saw that the last couple of nights in St. Louis as the Cardinals swept out the Phillies, so the Phillies will hope to change their luck tonight as they begin a 2-game series against the Colorado Rockies. It will be Cole Hamels on the mound. He'll be opposed by left-hander Jorge De La Rosa, who has a good record this year, but he can be very wild for the Rockies. Well, they expect another sold-out crowd here at Citizens Bank Park as everybody is getting everything ready for this 9-game homestand. The lineups and first pitch when we return. Light mist here at the ballpark as the Phillies return home after a 3-5 road trip. And the umpires for tonight's ball game meeting with the Fanatic, as every umpiring crew should do prior to the start of all ball games. Cole Hamels getting set to take the mound, getting set to kick off this homestand for the Phillies. First time they'll face the Rockies this year. Let's take a look at Colorado's lineup, brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. Leading off in center field, Dexter Fowler. Alfredo Amezaga, if you wonder where he landed, well, he landed in Colorado. He's batting second. Carlos Gonzalez hits third, followed by Troy Tulowitzki and Todd Helton. Jose Lopez is over for the Mariners. He'll play third base. Ryan Spilborghs hits seventh. He's in right field. Chris Iannetta does the catching, and Jorge De La Rosa is on the mound. And they will face Phillies left-hander Cole Hamels, who this year is 4-2, an ERA of 3.19, and 56 strikeouts in 53 2/3. And Wheels, he's been right around the plate.
Well, all their starters have been so good, Tom, and Cole Hamels just another guy. He's only had one game against Colorado, and he got smoked in a game out in Denver. He really hasn't pitched against them that much. So here's our Southwest Airlines scouting report on him. You know about his fastball, and he needs to command it, and he uses a really good cut fastball. Now against the National League West overall, 14-6 with an earned run average of 3.44.
You look at this Rockies team, Wheels, offensively, we always look at their splits between Colorado and the road. Not much difference in a lot of the power numbers. The batting average, though, is the big difference.
I think some things have changed out there with that humidor. You know, you don't have as many of the high-scoring arena baseball kind of games that you used to have out there. You still get involved in them and you get in goofy games, but it's calmed down a little bit. And I think, Tom, as a result, so have their numbers. And right now, as you look at Roy Oswalt, who pitched very well last night in the game in St. Louis, that's where we were last night, right?
In
St. Louis, right? It's all happened kind of quick. Here's our Nissan keys to tonight's game. Well, a little home cooking maybe. If Phillies get back home and play a little bit better, maybe even score some runs, that would be nice. And this guy tonight, Jorge De La Rosa, good pitcher, but he can get all over the place once in a while. So you really the one way to beat him, or the best way to beat him, is to exercise a little patience.
Well, Charlie Manuel spent a lot of today talking again about his offense, talking about the injuries. We'll get to the injury report, which seems to be a nightly thing, in just a little bit. Dexter Fowler leads it off for the Rockies, and we're underway as the first pitch is taken down low, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. John Mayberry makes the start in right field again, getting a start for the Phillies for Ben Francisco, and Michael Martinez in center for the injured Shane Victorino, who is getting closer to returning. Fowler this year hitting .253 with no homers and 15 RBIs. Coming off a homestand in which he was 5 for 22.
This guy gives him legitimate speed at the top of the order. Not necessarily a base stealer, but a guy who can run. He is a switch hitter.
1-2 the count. The pitch. Grounder, shortstop. Rollins moves to his left, has to hurry the throw, and does in time on a nice pick by Howard. 1 away. During the 2011 season, Turkey Hill will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream, sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs.
Jimmy Rollins almost got caught on an extra hop there with Dexter Fowler. Luckily, he was running from the right side, but you know, he couldn't get that first hop, and then the second hop ate him up a little bit, but he's still able to throw him out. And you really want to keep that leadoff man off base.
Well, here's Alfredo Amezaga, who shows bunt on the first pitch.
That name sounds familiar to Phillies fans. We used to see this guy a lot in the Florida Marlins uniform.
And let's face it, when he first started with the Marlins, we butchered his name with the best of them.
Well, it could be pronounced many ways. In Spanish, you think it would be pronounced Amezaga, but he's Amezaga.
Wearing number 99 for the Rockies. Injured most of last year. He was part of the Dodgers organization. And he's ahead 3 balls and no strikes.
He's another guy who can run a little bit. Gives him some speed at the top of the order.
And ball 4, and he just walked Amezaga on 4 pitches. So he's aboard with 1 away. Well, here's the Rockies offense this year. They're 13th in the league in average, down from a season ago. Averaging more runs per game and on pace to average a little more in the home run category, and their ERA is better, and that's one of the reasons why they lead the West.
They're a solid team. They as I mentioned, I think the humidor just changed everything out there. When Clint Hurdle was there and he was their manager, we used to talk a lot. He said they just had to get away from the philosophy of everybody standing up there and trying to hit home runs, and then they'd go on the road and they couldn't do much. And they did. They started to get more athletic players, guys that had different skills. Jim Tracy now the manager of the team. And they're a real baseball team now. They're just not a bunch of guys that stand up there and see how far they can hit them.
Carlos Gonzalez is one of those guys who's a real baseball player. In fact, since they acquired him from the Oakland A's, he's been a mainstay in their outfield. Well, the splits between the Rockies' home and road numbers, same amount of wins. The average, as we said, is much less. But they're averaging basically the same amount of runs, a little less in the home run category, and they're pitching better on the road.
And, of course, there was a time where their home road was really disproportionate, Tom, as you said. The one-loss record at home used to be really, really good. And then they go on the road, and they couldn't even come close to playing 500. They started to turn that stuff around that year. They went to the World Series, and they've been a good team since.
1 ball, 2 strikes the count to Gonzalez. Outside, 2-2.
They were smoking hot last year in September, and Tulowitzki, that guy right there especially, and it looked like they were going to win the division or be the wild card, and then they went into a funk at the end, and they didn't. They just finished out of the money.
Chopper over the head of Howard and into right field. Amezaga going to third. The throw by Mayberry on a hop. He's out! What a tag by Polanco! And a great decision to step up and pick that on the short hop before Amezaga got close to the bag.
Yeah, it really looked like he was going to first to third on that play because, it wasn't a ball he had to hold up that much on. And John makes a good throw here, but as Tom said, this is a really good job by Polanco to come forward, get that thing before it could short hop him. Well, it short hopped him anyway, but it was not as bad a short hop as he'd have gotten if he'd have stayed back and put a good tag on it. That's a big play, obviously. You don't have that runner at third with less than 2 outs.
Second outfield assist of the season for Mayberry. And here's Tulowitzki with 2 away and a runner at first.
He maybe could have had one last night, except they didn't get the play at the plate. John could have had another one from left field. Mayberry's very athletic. He can do a lot of things. He's a live body player when you put him in the lineup. He's very, 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 he's still youthful, and he can do things, run the bases, throw, and catch the ball in the outfield.
In the air to center field, Michael Martinez settles under it, and he makes the catch. And Cole Hamels now reaches 1,000 innings pitched in his career, and he does so without allowing a run here in the first. He's one of 60 active pitchers to reach that number. We go to the bottom of the first here in Philly. first. He's hitting in the 5-hole tonight for Charlie Manuel. Let's take a look at the rest of the starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. Leading it off at shortstop, Jimmy Rollins. Michael Martinez bats second and center. Placido Polanco hits third, followed by Ryan Howard and Mayberry. Ibanez is the number 6 batter. Carlos Ruiz bats 7th. Wilson Valdez hits 8th at second base. Cole Hamels bats 9th. And they will face left-hander Jorge De La Rosa, who's turned himself into a pretty good major league pitcher. And you see his numbers 5 and 1, but wheels the 20 walks as well as the 5 wild pitches also tell a little bit of the story for him.
Yeah, you can do some things. You can run on him a little bit. He'll bounce balls up there in certain situations. One thing he can really do is get left-handed hitters out. As you saw, they're only hitting 107 against him. Here's our Southwest Airlines scouting report on the native of Mexico. 90 to 95 fastball. He can rush it up there. He really uses his fastball a lot. Very good changeup. He will throw curveball and slider. And you saw his lifetime numbers there against the Phils.
So Jimmy Rollins will lead it off here in the bottom of the first. Rollins getting a chance to bat right-handed. Now Rollins for his career has very good numbers against the Rockies. In fact, last year he was 8 for 23, hit .348 with 5 RBIs. I think the good thing is that he was able to play in a handful of games against the Rockies last year, because he didn't play in a handful of games against a lot of teams. And he takes the first pitch off the outside corner. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Katie Shadler of Topton, PA. If the Phillies hit a home run in tonight's ball game, then Katie will win $300.
And Jimmy Rollins coming out, and he's patient. That you know, they all know that with De La Rosa. If you're going to beat him, you have to let De La Rosa beat himself a little bit.
And he delivers a strike, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Last year, De La Rosa walked 55 in 121 2/3 innings. This year, he's already walked 20 in 48 2/3. To right center field, slicing away from Fowler, who has good speed, and he comes running in to make the catch. I think that ball fooled him at first, and then it kind of died in the alley.
He thought he was in Denver, was going to go further.
He did kind of take a...
Oh, absolutely. He thought what you said's right on. He thought that ball was hit harder than it was. Then you play the outfield in Denver, you think it's going over your head a lot. You see right here, he breaks back. And now he realizes that it's going to die, and he runs a little down and out and catches it. I think we mentioned earlier, he can really fly, that guy.
Here's Michael Martinez, who takes on the first pitch from De La Rosa.
Those long striding center fielders are fun to watch.
Martinez has hit in 3 straight, 4 for 9 during that span. And that's raised his average to where it is now at 241. He and John Mayberry both have been getting some extra at bats over the last few days. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-2.
He has a little hesitation in his delivery. You know what a hitter wants to do is time a pitcher, and they want to pick up the baseball as quickly as possible, get loaded and fire. And you know, it can be a little bit deceptive when a guy hesitates the way that he does. He's thrown Martinez a couple changeups.
And Martinez out in front of that pitch, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Placido Polanco waits on deck. Outside, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
That's what he can do. He could just throw one way out of the strike zone like that. And as Tom mentioned, he has 5 wild pitches.
A lot of folks say that he reminds them of Oliver Perez, both from Mexico, both with very similar styles, although Perez probably throws a little harder than De La Rosa. And a swing and a miss. He got him on a changeup. 2 outs here in the first. First strikeout for De La Rosa. And that'll bring Polanco to the plate.
You see right here, you see the hesitation that he has, and then he jumps at the hitter. And, you know, it's all to throw off a hitter's timing. Whatever a pitcher can do, whether it's in his delivery, whether it's in his arm motion, whether it's in his angle, if they can hide the ball and change speeds and throw off the timing of a hitter, that's a great way to pitch.
Now, the tough part about that, if you're a pitcher, is repeating it time and time again to where you can throw strikes, and that's where you can get into a little bit of trouble. Polanco coming off a road trip in which he was 5 for 26. Numbers overall for each of the Phillies hitters were not very good on the trip. In fact, Michael Martinez probably had the best numbers in just 10 at-bats. He was 4 for 10. Raul Ibanez was 7 for 26. But as a club, the Phillies just didn't hit on this road trip. And Charlie spoke a lot about that today. Ruben Amaro's talked about that too. In fact, everybody's kind of talked about it, about ways they can try to get themselves out of this funk. And it's outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now the conditions here in Philadelphia, 67 degrees. Cloudy with a little bit of mist. But certainly playable. Fly ball, short center field. Dexter Fowler comes trotting in. Should be an easy play, and it is, and it turns out to be a 16-pitch inning for Jorge De La Rosa, but he retires the Phils in order. We've played one here in South Philadelphia. No score. All-Star ballot and enter to win a trip to the All-Star game. Compliments of Scott's. All-Star game will be played in Phoenix, Arizona. And no worry about the mist out there because they have a roof, and very rarely do they have any mist out in Phoenix.
Yeah, this time of the year, the only thing they get out there would be a sandstorm.
Oh, Cole Hamels allowed 1 hit, walked 1 in the first, and he'll go to work here in the top of the second against Todd Helton. Helton's having a good year, .322 average with 6 homers and 19 RBIs. He's hit it 6 straight. And he takes a strike.
This guy, when you look at his numbers, and a couple of years ago with his back, it looked like maybe he was winding it up. They were going to trade him. He's maybe going to go to Boston. You look at his career, and he's got a heck of a chance to be a Hall of Fame player.
Well, 324 lifetime average. That number really puts him in rarefied air. I mean, you see he's fourth among active players with a 324 average. That's pretty impressive in its own right.
Yeah, there are some that are going to hold Coors Field against him. That, he piled up a lot of his offensive numbers because he played in that ballpark. And, we don't vote for Hall of Fame and never will. And I don't know sometimes where the Hall of Fame player is, except you watch them and you have a feel that they're really good. And he's really good. And he's a heck of a first baseman, too.
He rolls over on that one, over to Valdez, one away. Well, tomorrow when the Phillies take on the Rockies, all fans will receive the ball cap we've been promoting, compliments of Teva, and it's Teva Respiratory Asthma Awareness Night. Now you get free asthma screenings that will be available to fans at the first, third, and left field gates until the 7th inning. So take advantage of that. There are some seats that are still available for that ball game. And you can go to Phillies.com to check out what is still available. Jose Lopez will bat against Hamels. This is his first career at bat against Cole Hamels. And hitting overall just 179. And he's just been introduced to Hamels' changeup for the first time.
Ooh, that's a good one. That looked like a fastball. Well, he spreads out.
Lopez is brand new to the National League. He spent the last 8 years with the Seattle Mariners. He had 25 home runs in 2009. And it's even 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I think the way they're approaching him is they think he wants to hit fastballs, because those are really good changeups, and he is jumping at them like they're fastballs. Oh, well, there he got a fastball, and they tried to freeze him in.
On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, busy day in Major League Baseball. A lot of night games going on. Marlins lead the Cubs 1-0 in the bottom of the first. Hanley Ramirez hit a solo home run, and Jose Lopez has picked up the second hit of the night for the Rockies.
Well, they went away from changeup, went fastball, and then that looked like a cutter, and he winds up with the base hit up the middle. That's one of those ones that, they obviously have a game plan and how they want to work somebody, but he wasn't coming close to hitting that changeup.
So a base runner for the Rockies here in the second, and now Ryan Spilborghs will be the batter. Spilborghs last year against the Phillies was 8 for 16. They just had a very difficult time getting him out.
And this guy's a nice extra man.
Well, his career numbers against the Phillies are staggeringly good. 439 with 4 homers and 15 RBIs.
That looks staggeringly good, too.
Yeah, Cotton Candy is right on target for tonight. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-1.
That guy looked like he had a little extra on that one.
The kid with the cotton candy or the fastball?
The cotton candy. Looked like 2 scoops.
Uh-oh. Dad's going to help out. Let me just check this out, make it a little easier for you, son.
You don't need all that. Let me have a little. I don't want your mom to see that you're having that here anyway. Oh, she did see it? Okay.
Ed Hickox is the whole plate umpire tonight. Ed Rapuano is the crew chief over at first. Brian Onora is at second. And Alfonso Marquez at third. We just had this umpiring crew here in Philadelphia a couple weeks ago.
Hamels has swing and miss stuff tonight, which is always a good thing for a pitcher. Been quite a few Rockies just swung through pitches. That's one thing you look for a guy. What kind of stuff they have on a given night, and that can be an indicator.
2-2 the count. And a grounder left side. Rollins has it. There's one. And that's all they'll get. Valdez, I don't think would have thrown Spilborghs out anyway, but he dropped the ball in the exchange. That was a good play all the way around. 2 outs.
Not a double play ball where it was hit. As Tom says, they're probably going to not get to him this anyway. Jimmy has to wait a little bit for another hop, then does a nice job of getting the lead runner. Valdez, with that arm of his, he always thinks he has a chance. And the correct call there by the second base umpire Brian Honora that he dropped it in the exchange.
So Spilborghs is at first. Chris Iannetta is the batter. 239 batter this year, 5 homers and 14 RBIs. And out in front of the first pitch from Hamels. He's unveiled a few really good changeups in his first couple innings.
I think that's at least 7 pitches they've swung and missed at. And it's early to have that many of those.
Rich Dower, the third base coach for the Rockies, laying down the signs. 0-2 the count to Iannetta, who's picked it up average-wise here in the month of May, after hitting just 182 in April. 0-2 the count. The pitch from Hamels. Outside, 1-2. I think Ruiz wanted something on the outside part of the plate. I'm not sure if Hamels wanted to go there.
Yeah, you can see him wipe. Sometimes up high is for a location or down below the belt. Depends.
Runner goes. Pitch is taken low. The throw to second by Ruiz in time. He nailed him. Quick feet, quick release for Carlos Ruiz, and the side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, and nobody left in the first 2 innings. The Phillies are showing off some arms. First in right field, and now by Ruiz from behind the plate. A scoreless game as we go to the bottom of the second here at Citizens Bank Park. Ryan Howard leads off the bottom of the second for the Phillies. Scoreless game. Rockies have a couple of hits. The Phillies went down in order in their half of the first. And the first pitch to Howard from De La Rosa. A curveball, and Ryan looked like he was taken all the way. It's 1-0. Rockies play the overshift with 3 on the right side, but their third baseman, Lopez, is in and closer to the third base bag than most third basemen against Howard.
Yeah, it's just such an individual philosophy. Part of it has to be because of the left-handed hitter up there in Ryan Howard. Of course, I think he's more likely if he hits a ground ball, he's going to hit it that way because he's going to stay away from him.
2-1 the count to Howard. Ryan did not have a very good road trip. He was 5 for 28. He had a couple home runs. Jim Tracy is more than used to seeing Ryan Howard, first as the manager of the Dodgers, then the Pirates, and now the Rockies. Probably still has thoughts of the postseason a couple years ago when Ryan Howard helped the Phils to the series victory over the Rockies.
Had that big hit off Houston Street when it looked like the Rockies were going to send the series back to Philadelphia. Now with 2 strikes, or now that he's ahead in the count, they moved the third baseman over.
3-1 the count to Howard. Hit hard. Fair. It's a fair ball. Ed Rapuato initially started to call foul and then changed to fair. I know he caught me.
Yeah, it was a flip a coin going on down there for him.
I think he got it right.
I do too.
I was surprised when he was about to call it foul.
How about that play by Helton too? We're talking about Helton being a complete player last inning. Listen, this ball is hit right on the nose by Ryan Howard, and it looks like the ball did go over the bag, doesn't it? Right there, it did. It went over the bag. It doesn't matter where it hit on you see on the other side. That's not what he's looking for. And he started to call it foul because he put both hands up in the air, and then it was like, no, it's fair, and he gave the fair sign. But no wonder he got you because he was calling it foul
twice.
Yeah,
his arm out, pointing foul, and then he started to put his hands up, and then.
Well, yeah, when they put both hands up like that, they're going to call it foul.
John Mayberry, the batter, 0-1 the count. And he pops it up. Foul territory. Todd Helton over into the coach's box. 2 outs. You know, the Phillies have had a great history against the Reds and Dodgers in the postseason, particularly recently against the Dodgers a couple different times and the Reds last year. Well, both those teams are coming to town, and there are some seats still available, particularly for the Reds game next Wednesday, the 25th, and then the Dodger games Tuesday the 7th and Wednesday, June 8th. Go to Phillies.com and purchase your tickets for those 3 games coming up right around the corner. With 2 outs, here's Ibanez. And Raul backs away from a breaking ball that drops in, and it's 0-1.
Taylor Rosa, 4 home runs this year, all by right-handed hitters, and the left-handed hitters just hitting the 107 off him.
High chopper toward first. Big hop for Helton, and he'll take it to the bag, and the side is retired. So Todd Helton's taking care of all 3 batters here in the second. We've played 2. No score between the Phils and the Rockies. Go to the fan section for all the information, and please submit your answer on the subject line. Wheels, the question is, what former Philly pitched in relief for Colorado in the first ever Rockies shutout? The answer will be revealed in the 7th inning. Yeah, they're getting a little more difficult, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, that's really hard. That's a definite hint. Please.
Right now.
Please.
Not right now, though.
Right, not now. That game would have been, well, it didn't have to be, but if it were a home game, it would have been played at old Mile High Stadium, where they played for a few years before they opened that beautiful Coors Field.
Chris Iannetta was up when Carlos Ruiz threw out Ryan Spilborghs trying to steal to finish off the second. Just so you know, Wheels, it was not in Denver at Mile High Stadium.
Oh, that really helped.
Won the count.
You guys are just so magnanimous. Thank you.
We will give you a hint, but we will give you a hint later on.
Right. Well, I'm sure plenty of the fans out there right now are saying, "You dope, I know what it is."
Well, sometimes these questions can be kind of rough. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Grounded to third. And Polanco went to his knee, has plenty of time, and Iannetta's retired. So one away for De La Rosa. Well, statistically, De La Rosa's a pretty good hitter.
Yeah.
263. He's had 19 at-bats and 5 hits, but he also has picked up 3 RBIs.
All singles.
Now, for his career, he's just a 145 hitter. And Hamels gets a fastball over for strike 1. And now it's no balls and 2 strikes. Well, they both brought a glove, so somebody should be able to make the catch. Swing and a miss, and De La Rosa is the first strikeout victim for Hamels tonight. 2 outs here in the 3rd. Well, 24/7 Phils fans get more with Phils insider Jim Salisbury on CSNPhilly.com. Get the latest team updates on the Phils injuries with reports from home and on the road. Experience counts. Follow Phillies insider Jim Salisbury only on CSNPhilly.com. Saw Jim and the Phillies were in St. Louis the last couple of days. Dexter Fowler will be the hitter, and he grounds one toward the hole. Cut off by Polanco. An easy play and an easy inning for Hamels. 1, 2, 3 go the Rockies. Hamels is retired 3 straight as we go to the bottom of the 4th here in Philadelphia. dealer. Visit ChevyDealer.com. By Citizens Bank, we're for homes. Talk to us today about how we can help guide you to the loan that's right for you. And by Xfinity, it's TV, phone, and internet reinvented only from Comcast. Bottom of the third, Carlos Ruiz leads it off for the Phillies. 6 up, 6 down so far for the Phillies against Jorge De La Rosa. De La Rosa, for his career, has awful numbers against the Phillies. 0-3 with an earned run average of 9.78. He's allowed 26 hits in 21 and a third innings now. Make it 27 hits. And it's the first hit of the night for the Phils.
Well, he's throwing a lot of changeups here tonight, and that one, he looked like he got up and out over the plate a little bit. And Carlos nailed it. Yeah, his changeup's been down really well early in the game. Early the first 2 innings, that one was up, and yeah, he did a good job hitting it.
So Ruiz is aboard. Carlos was just 1 for 10 on the road trip, so that's a good start to this homestand, and they really need him to get on track.
You seem to be giving a lot of bad numbers about that road trip.
Well, it really wasn't offensively a very good trip.
It wasn't very good.
No.
No, that's why put that in the keys of the game tonight. Maybe a little home cooking. Oh, look at this.
Phillies tried a little hit and run. Meziga bobbles it, but still recovers to get Valdez. So Ruiz is safe and in scoring position.
Well, great idea. They try to play a little hit and run, as Tom said, but what it did was draw the infielders to the bag, and it looked like it was going to be a double play, and it should have been. And Meziga is really lucky to even get one on that. Look at this ball, and see right there now he goes, and Meziga starts towards the bag, and then the ball jumps up and hits him in the face. Although it did look like Tulowitzki was covering on the play, he was just more or less playing up the middle.
So with 1 out, here's Hamels, a .263 hitter, with Ruiz in scoring position.
There's an example of them trying to make something happen there, because Valdez will hit in a lot of double plays, and they did play hit and run on the first pitch.
That sometimes is part of trying to get a team out of their offensive funk, like the Phillies have been, is to put the game in motion.
Yeah, hit and runs can serve several purposes, Tom, in a game. You know, sometimes managers like to give a hit and run to a struggling hitter because it makes them concentrate on making contact. You know, I mean, he hopes he doesn't get a terrible pitch to have to try and swing at, too. But when a guy's really struggling to hit and run, it can help him a little bit. And then what you just said about, you know, putting guys in motion, trying to make something happen.
2-0 the count to Hamels. And he's taking for a strike, and it's 2-1. Got a fastball at 94. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Cole. No score, bottom of the third.
Yeah, this guy can have some separation now with his fastball and changeup.
And Hamels goes down looking. Second strikeout for De La Rosa. And there are 2 outs here in the third. Hey, if you're hitting the road, take the Phillies with you this season. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Phillies game live or on demand on your computer and your favorite devices. Visit Phillies.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. Also, if you have your computer up tonight, you'll see the progress of Jose Contreras and Chase Utley, both playing in separate rehab games. Contreras, 2/3 of an inning, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, but he didn't walk anybody. He pitched the first inning in a game for Lehigh Valley, or excuse me, for Clearwater. And Chase Utley, meanwhile, had an RBI single in his first at bat for the Threshers. I said 2 separate games. I meant 2 separate positions. And Contreras probably will have another rehab assignment or 2. Brad Lidge is supposed to throw off a mound tomorrow for the first time, which is a great sign. I asked Brad today, I said, how exciting is that? He said, it'll make me look forward to waking up tomorrow.
Well, they would love to get him back, too. They'd like to get both of those guys back. There's Brad.
Brad said if all goes well, he figures 3 or 4 bullpen sessions and then off to the minor leagues for a rehab assignment or 2. Two and 0 the count to Rollins. Rollins chops it toward third, backhanded by Lopez, and he throws out Rollins, and the side is retired. Ruiz, I think, forgot the outs. He froze at second. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left in scoring position. We've played the first 3 here in Philadelphia. Lewis. Swing line, stack and shred shredder featuring hands-free shredding. Who but WB Mason? Oh, it's good to be home here in Philadelphia after the Phillies are on that road trip for 9 days. They went 3-5 on the road trip. They're in a scoreless game tonight here at Citizens Bank Park as Cole Hamels will go to work against Alfredo Amezaga. Gary Matthews joins us up here in the booth. Amezaga walked his first time up. And he swings at the first pitch. And Michael Martinez calls off everybody else and makes the catch 1 away. So Amezaga is retired. 1 out here in the 4th. And Carlos Gonzalez is the hitter. You know, Sarge, I was talking to, welcome to the booth, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Nice to have
Good
you
to
here.
be here.
I was talking to Michael Martinez today. I said, how is it going out in the outfield? Because he's an infielder by trade. He said he feels pretty comfortable out there. He said he started taking a lot of fly balls during batting practice last year in the minor leagues, and now it's paid off.
Yeah, he's a pretty good athlete, meaning that he can play multiple positions. And, you know, he's a fast runner. When you're a fast runner, you can play in the outfield, and he does have good hands.
Well, the other thing, too, he seems to be reading, and I don't want to jinx anything, but he seems to be reading the ball off the bat well, too.
Well, you know, you're going to have to do that when you're in the outfield, and with these pitchers, you anticipate the ball coming because these guys are always around the plate.
Yeah, and taking fly balls in batting practice, not from just, let's say, Juan Samuel, but taking balls off the bat during batting practice, that is effective, too.
Helps you get the jumps on the ball. Usually you'll run everybody away, and you'll take them from left to right coming in, and that way you're preparing yourself for the game.
Well, Carlos Gonzalez is ahead 3 balls and no strikes in this at bat with 1 out in the 4th. And he takes one at the knees. It's 3-1. I'm always fascinated when guys can change from one position to another, and particularly guys that do it easily. And I'm not saying that Martinez is at all a finished product in the outfield, but you know, he's made the adjustment from being an infielder to being an outfielder.
Yeah, the thing about that too, you just can't be afraid to go out there and try. And I think in his position, the more positions he's able to play, easier it is for him to stay on this ball club.
And that was the thought as Gonzalez is down looking on strikes. 2 outs here in the 4th.
It's a good pitch.
Second strikeout for Hamels.
Guys aren't used to the balls on the inside part of the plate. You can see well inside of that shin guard. It wasn't on the outside, it was on the inside.
And rule of thumb, inside shin guard, it's...
Yeah, maybe he's thinking it's a little bit low. But even if it was up, the way he jumped away from the plate, he was in no position to hit the ball.
Want to know the count to Tulowitzki. Fly to center his first time up. And a strike on the outside corner, 1-1. Folks look at the numbers, the radar gun numbers, as you see Cole's pitch count, and you wonder when you see 90 or 91, well, is Hamels' fastball down tonight compared to other nights? If you see 90, 91, that's usually his cutter. See, that was the cutter right there, which is different than his 4-seamer, which will come in at 94, sometimes 95 miles an hour.
Yeah, the 94 would be the pitch that would be straight. Usually can control that pitch a little bit better.
Now that pitch right there was the changeup on the inside part of the plate. And it's 3-2.
Yeah, always tell just about what that pitch is by the velocity. You know exactly where he throws his changeup.
Got him. Looking at the knees. Tulowitzki's rung up. Back-to-back strikeouts for Hamels. He has 3 in the game, and he just got 2 very tough hitters looking to finish up the 4th. First Carlos Gonzalez, and then finally Troy Tulowitzki, and the Rockies go down in order. Jackson. Who bought W.B. Mason for amazingly low office product prices? Buy Acura, Acura Advance, and buy Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines' new Rapid Rewards. Unlimited reward seats and no blackout dates. Michael Martinez leads it off. He showed bunt, and it took a hook for a strike, and it's 0-1.
Well, he's done that several times where he fakes a bunt and a strike was called. If you're going to go on and fake it, you might as well go for the line.
I wouldn't mind seeing him try a bunt with his speed. Kind of get things rattled around a little bit.
Yeah, even playing in, if he bunts that ball and it just goes halfway, he'll be able to beat that ball out. You know, Martinez can get down that bag even to the right side, about 4-1.
Little number right in front of the plate. Iannetta called off De La Rosa, but De La Rosa went right past him, and he threw him out, one away. Tell you what, if Iannetta had fielded that ball, I think Martinez would have been safe.
Well, gets right on top of the ball. He's off and running. De La Rosa did get to the ball a lot quicker, though. You're right, because it would have been more steps.
Iannetta had put his hand up. That's usually the signal for a catcher saying, you know what, I got it. Let me take care of this. Polanco with one out stands in, and he takes a fastball down and away.
Now, this pitcher could have a little bit of timing issues just because he hesitates. A lot like pitchers in Japan. See how they hesitates there?
Pump back liner to second, picked out of the air by Amezaga, and there are two outs. Hey, follow your favorite Phils player and donate to a great cause at the same time. Phillies Charities Incorporated introduces an easy new fundraising program open to fans in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware. Select the player and stat you would like to follow. Pick your pledge. Choose where the money will go from 4 Phillies Charities beneficiaries. Supporting Phillies Charities has never been easier. See the community section at Phillies.com for details. 2 away for Howard in a scoreless game.
See, Howard has moved up just a little bit. Foot usually on the very back line when he's hitting. Now he's inched up just a little bit. Tell me that he's maybe trying to get that breaking ball a little further up in the zone as opposed to being down the way that pitch was.
Over the last couple of years, pitchers have been throwing more breaking balls to him. Over the last couple of weeks, it seems like it's been even more.
Well, a lot has to do with who's on base, who's hitting behind that particular hitter in Ryan's case.
He pulls that to short right, and Amezaga from the outfield grass throws out Howard. And the side is retired. That's the 3rd time in 3 days that somebody's been able to throw Howard out from short right field. We go to the 5th here in Philadelphia. Sports writers have plenty to talk about with former Governor Ed Rendell and the Union's identical twins, Gabe and Michael Farfan. AT&T presents Daily News Live tomorrow at 5, only on Comcast Sportsnet. Todd Helton, Jose Lopez, Ryan Spilborghs to lead it off for the Rockies. A scoreless game as we go to the top of the 5th. Helton, his first time up, grounded out to second. And he takes a pitch down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. They put the tarps back on the mounds in the bullpen. The mist that was falling early on doesn't look like it's falling anymore, but just making sure that everything stays dry.
Well, don't want the mounds to be slippery when they're out warming up. One of the reasons that they cover it up.
That ball tipped off the glove of Ruiz and I think hit the home plate umpire Ed Hickox. He's looking around making sure that the ball was picked up by somebody.
Just a little courtesy, giving the umpire a little time to get those cobwebs out of his head from being hit.
Low ball 3.
Makes it easier for him to call the balls and strikes.
Well, it seemed like Ruiz was wondering why Helton asked for time. In the air down the right field line. That is a towering shot. If it's fair, it's gone. It is a foul ball.
Boy, that's a 3-1 swing, and that's what you want to do. Again, predictable count. Usually that fastball. I'm sure he'll mix it up again. But take a look at this here. He gets out in front. He knows that ball's out of here. Whether or not it's going to be foul. A lot of extension on there, and it does hook foul.
Now it's full 3-2 to Helton after a long strike and the pitch. Swing, tip, and he is down on strikes.
Filthy change up coming back with that. Cole talked about throwing that pitch in his sleep. That's after a good fastball and coming back with that change up. Take a look at this. He'll be out in front of that, foot down, and he is out in front. Kind of pulled his head a little too.
Well, he barely got a piece of that one, and Ruiz hung on. 1 out here in the top of the 5th. Here's Lopez, and he fouls the first pitch off. How frustrating for a hitter to hit a foul ball 400 feet, close to being a homer, and then come back and strike out.
Oh boy, just deflating. You're hoping when you hit that ball that it stays fair or hit the foul pole. And then when you know you got to come back up, especially against a good pitcher, that's when it kind of really gets to you.
Now, how gratifying for a pitcher to get a long strike like that and then come back and get a strikeout.
Oh, they're taking a deep breath, feeling that it's foul when they hit it.
Broken bat roller to short. The bat sticks in the dirt right around third and then falls down. 2 outs. So 8 in a row retired by Hamels.
Good pitching by Cole as he ends up jamming Ryan Spilborghs. And that's that cutter that he throws, getting inside on them. Sorry about that, Mr. Lopez. Hey, no hitter likes to get jammed.
Breaking ball in there for strike 1. Spilborghs reached on a fielder's choice his first time up, was thrown out trying to steal.
Well, you look at these averages, they are down all over the league, just about on every single team.
Only one team, I think I have this right, only one team has better than a 300 batting average with runners in scoring position in the National League.
Yeah, St. Louis Cardinals.
That's it.
Yeah.
1-2 pitch to Spilborghs. Back toward the box. Flag down by Hamels, and the side is retired. Well, impressive pitching by Cole Hamels. He's retired 9 consecutive batters We've played 4.5, still no score. Defensive play of the game, Sarge.
Oh, boy. And you can take a look at it right there. What a throw here. I haven't seen that a while as Mayberry throws it right on the money. DOA at third base.
The Home Depot doing more on defense. Not only was that a great throw, but as we mentioned before, that was a really good play by Polanco to come up and play it on a real short hop and apply the tag. So Mayberry will lead it off here in the bottom of the fifth. Rockies nothing, Phillies nothing. Rockies with 2 hits, Phillies with 1 hit. Charlie Manuel was asked today about John Mayberry. He said, well, the question was, have you seen something from Mayberry that you've liked that's caused you to keep him in the lineup for now 4 consecutive games? And Charlie talked about the injuries the Phillies have sustained, but also, you know, he thinks that John has done some pretty good things.
He's done some good things, bringing energy to the club, stealing bases. He showed you that arm. He's basically hit the ball and made Charlie put him in the lineup just because of the way he's been playing.
To center field. That's pretty well hit. Fowler's on the run. It's playable, and he makes the catch. The wind got a hold of that one, and I'm not sure if it was going to go out of the yard if the wind was blowing a different way, but it certainly brought it back as Ben Francisco looks on. 1 away. May have got that one down toward the end of the bat a little bit.
I thought so. Maybe got in on him just a little bit. Fastball that he hit.
Now Ibanez, who grounded out his first time up.
Every time you're not scoring run, the hitters, you got more and more pressure on you, especially when they're in scoring position.
Well, that's the thing, Sarge. The Phillies came into this ball game 7 for their last 42 with runners in scoring position. 0 for 2 tonight. So they haven't hit well with runners in scoring position, but let's face it, they haven't had a whole lot of guys in scoring position.
Not a lot of opportunities, especially on this last road trip.
That one's hit hard. A base hit for Ibanez. Second hit of the night for the Phillies, and they've got a runner aboard with 1 out here in the 5th.
That's why it's so important, though, when you can, to be able to go first to third, especially when it's no outs or 1 out. A little easier to score a run from third base. But you got to have that made up in your mind, though. Once you're on first base, take a look at the outfielders, see where they're playing. The ball is hit. You don't have to look, and you keep going. You're thinking about your teammate trying to get on third base, more so thinking about the team.
It's not often that the outfielder in right, and Ibanez thought about going but decided not to.
Well, that's a play for me, Tom. I mean, if you're reading that, taking your secondary lead, once that ball hits, goes off the ground, you got to be off and running. Once you take a look and you're doing your little hop, you got to do what Ibanez did, and that's just getting back. Anticipate the ball in the dirt. It'll make it easy for you to get to the next base.
Well, and nothing against Chris Iannetta, but he was back and over. It would have been a very long throw to get Ibanez at second.
I think so.
Fastball for a strike. It's 1-1. I mentioned before that it's not often that the guy with the weakest arm is in right field for a team, but out of the three outfielders, Spilborgh's in right field has the weakest arm. If you put him up against Fowler and Carlos Gonzalez.
Well, it's interesting, too, because they will put different grades on the arms in the outfield. They'll talk about a guy having a 4-arm or a 5-arm. 8 would be the highest, which would be like, in my day, maybe somebody like a Dave Parker, Ellis Valentine, a guy that's really able to throw. Doesn't get any better than that.
What was yours?
I would say I'd have to be somewhere between 5.5 and a 6. Maybe a little above average. And there's some times when I was a little angry, I'd get off even a better throw. Had that little adrenaline flowing. But usually if you're around, 5, 6, that's decent.
That ball got a piece of Ruiz, and he's aboard. That's the 4th time Ruiz has been hit by a pitch this year. And the Phillies have runners on first and second. So 2 on, 1 out here in the 5th. Hey, tickets are still available, but there are a limited amount of seats for the Cubs during that series June 10th, 11th, and 12th. That's right, Sarge. And the Marlins during the 4-game series. It's now a 4-game set because of the rain out earlier this year. It's a day-night doubleheader. So go to Phillies.com, and you get a chance to see not only the Cubs, who have some pretty good ball players this year, but also the Marlins, who are battling the Phillies for the top spot in the East. And speaking of the Cubs and the Marlins, on the Toyota Major League scoreboard, they're even at 1 in the bottom of the 4th down in Florida. Florida's lost 5 of 7 at home, and part of that is because of what the Phillies did to them when they took 2 of 3 from Florida last week. First time tonight the Phillies have 2 on. And Valdez the hitter. Rockies are set up for 2. Valdez grounded to second his first time up. He hit the ball sharply. Ball was boxed by Amezaga. And Valdez was thrown out while Ruiz went to second.
Yeah, De La Rosa throws that hard breaking ball. A lot of times it will get in the dirt. Very difficult to block.
And there it is. That one wasn't in the dirt, but Iannetta just missed it, and the runners move up the base.
Yeah, anticipating that ball in the dirt, easy to get to the next base. And not only that, De La Rosa has a reputation of throwing wild pitches. Take a look at this right here. You're right, didn't get in the dirt at all. Iannetta just boxed that ball. That's a ball that should have been caught.
And they scored a pass ball. Bob Apodaca, the longtime pitching coach for the Rockies. First with Clint Hurdle, and now with Jim Tracy out to the mound to talk to De La Rosa. So the Phils have a threat going here. 2 in scoring position with 1 out. And Wilson Valdez has the count even, 1 ball and 1 strike. All right, now Juan Samuel, as you see what the Phillies have done with runners in scoring position the last 15 opportunities. Samuel, you would think, is reminding Ibanez about the 5 wild pitches that De La Rosa's uncorked this year.
Yeah, five wild pitches, and also talking about whether or not they're going to go on contact. Now, the infield now is kind of playing not all the way back, but somewhat in. Should be able to score a run if it's to the shortstop or second baseman.
Line drive, base hit into left field. Ibanez will score. Ruiz will be held at third. An RBI single for Valdez, and the Phillies are on the board.
Boy, good hitting by Valdez. Picking on a changeup, down and in as he hits the ball right by the third baseman there. Normally, you're not going to want to pull it, but that ball just got by him. Anytime, obviously, you get a base hit, take a look at it. That ball just right by him. Ibanez scoring. Ruiz getting over to third base. There's Ibanez, safe at home.
Safe and secure with New York Life. So Valdez picks up the RBI, his 9th of the year, and now Hamels.
He can go either way here. Safety squeeze. Hamels, one of the better hitting pitchers, although De La Rosa from that left side.
Well, they throw over to first just to see if Hamels would square. Ibanez catching a drink after scoring that run.
Good point, too, though. The manager, Tracy, will say, hey, throw over. Let's see if he's going to butt. That way they can put the play on that they want.
0-1 the count to Hamels. Sarge, would you squeeze here?
Wow. No, I wouldn't. And the reason that I wouldn't is because of De La Rosa. You know, you can't count on him always throwing a strike. A little bit wild to be able to stay in from the left side. And for me, I wouldn't want Cole doing that. Now, there's a good indication there. Difficult, to bunt that ball. You like to get in to where you almost feel he has to throw a strike with De La Rosa out there. Just never can tell.
Grounder towards short. Tulowitzki takes it to the bag himself for one, and a double play, and the side is retired. The run turns out to be unearned because of the pass ball by Iannetta. Phillies leave one. We go to the 6th. Well, even though the Phillies have struggled over the last week or so, one category where they haven't struggled this year is the closer's role. Even with all the changes between Contreras and Lidge being on the DL and Ryan Matson taking over. They only have one blown save.
Yeah, we can't get a lead in the ninth inning.
Well, Matson's hoping for a lead.
Well, again, Matson's doing a good job. I thought he would have been the closer coming out of spring training. It was Contreras, and they've all done a great job, and it just shows you that the guys in the bullpen aren't selfish. You know, they're thinking about the wins for the team.
I think the blown save, too, it came in the 8th inning. So they haven't, they've been that good where they haven't blown one in the 9th inning.
Pitching has been great for me for the fighting fields this year.
So we go to the top of the 6th, and the pitching's going to have to be even greater as the Phillies have a 1-0 lead. And Chris Iannetta takes a fastball for strike 1. Hamels has retired 9 straight.
Pretty good pitch. That's a pitch that he's been calling, that low strike.
.96 on that fastball.
Must be his four-seamer. Think that's 96?
I believe whatever numbers put up there. So.
Yeah, those guns are fast. I keep telling you that these days. Well, I know that he throws the ball hard and can get it up there 93, 94, 90, 96. Wow.
Down the right field line, a foul ball, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, just so you know, Sarge, it's much different now in putting the radar numbers up there. A company called Sports Vision, they have different spots around the park.
Sure.
And those spots, I guess, meet to decide what that number will be. That one was 91.
Yeah, well, I don't care how many cameras they have all over. Okay.
You're not buying it.
I'm not buying it at all.
3-2 the count to Iannetta. So we showed 85. Sarge is thinking 81. De La Rosa waits on deck.
Just don't think the pitchers come in as hard as what they will say or read.
Swing and a miss. That changeup was a beauty.
Boy, he's just setting up his pitches really well tonight. Change up. He's had great control up. These are after some fastballs. Take a look at that as he gives you good motion with his arm. That's what makes that pitch so devastating.
Well, he's got the first out here in the 6th. Here's De La Rosa, who struck out his first time up. Got a good pace going tonight, too.
He's got a good pace. He's throwing strikes, but the strikes that he's throwing tonight so far have been kind of down in the zone. Some of the fastballs have been up, but those are that four-seamer that he throws. He picks up another strikeout.
That's 6 strikeouts for Hamels. 2 outs here in the 6th. You know, every time the Phillies retire, the opposing team 1, 2, 3, and Hamels has done it in each of the last 3 innings. Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by the Xfinity Triple Play, your complete lineup for digital TV, lightning fast internet, and home phone. 2 outs for the top of the order. Fowler's grounded out twice, and he takes a breaking ball for strike 1. It's 0-1.
Wow, hasn't used the curveball that much. 77 as that ball rolls in. Just keeping the hitter off stride.
Towering fly ball into foul territory. Long one for Valdez, and he's there to make the catch. Tremendous hustle to get to the spot that helped Hamels retire the Rockies in order. Hamels in total control. He's set down 12 in a row. Rollins to lead it off when we return. last night as the Phillies came back from St. Louis. Let's see how sharp you are. It's time now for the Coors Light Freeze Cam. Tell us whose grips these are.
All right, let's see here. Oh, they were going to go with Howard, I think.
That would be incorrect. Michael Martinez.
Really nice.
Next one.
Okay, that would be, I would think, Francisco.
John Mayberry.
We did get in pretty late.
All right, one more.
Polanco.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You knew that one, right? Right
Yeah.
from the get-go. You are correct. So you got one of the three. Coors Light Freeze Cam brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light.
It's not all that bad. I mean, some of these guys wish they were hitting 333. Okay, what's wrong with that?
Rollins lines it to left, and Gonzalez will play it on a hop. So Giro leads off the sixth with a single. So here is Michael Martinez, as we showed in the Coors Light Freeze Cam. He's batting right-handed.
Yeah. Well, you know, I seriously thought that you guys were going to have a little trick going on there, so I just was.
So you thought we'd reverse the film?
Yeah. Plus, you're right. Not getting enough sleep had a lot to do with that. Let's see if we're going to get a bunt here.
And he bunts it in front of the plate. That'll get Rollins over to second, and De La Rosa bobbled it for a moment, but how about Helton just picked that one right off the hip of Martinez?
Well, I know you guys are talking about him, whether or not he's to be a Hall of Famer or not. For me, he is. I mean, a complete player at first base. Can catch balls. He thinks. He's always been a terrific hitter. Getting off to a good start this year. I'll take a look at it as this ball is bunted by Martinez. There is a fumble. Boy, he called himself safe on that. I'll take a look at this little bobble there as he didn't really get it. Boy, he got him. He stayed right on the bag. Didn't panic.
So the sacrifice is successful. A runner in scoring position with one out. And Polanco 0 for 2. I think there's a chance that Rollins tries to steal third early in this at-bat.
You know what? He steals, and a lot of times you don't know when he's going to do it. If he gets a good jump, I mean, and the only way it's a good play is if you're safe, period.
I say that because De La Rosa isn't the quickest guy to the plate. Rollins, 87% of the time, is safe going to third on steal attempts. Plus, you have a right-handed batter up.
Well, having a right-handed batter helps.
Looper toward right. Spielborg started back. He's coming in. He slides, and he made the catch. And Rollins sneaks back to second.
Wow, didn't think he was going to get it.
Phillies baseball is brought to you by Honda. See your Honda dealer and discover the great values now being offered. By AT&T, the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. And by McDonald's. I'm loving it. Phillies lead at 1-0 here in the sixth. Leadoff batter got a board and then was sacrificed to second. And now Ryan Spielborg's just robbed Polanco.
Sure did. Come in and he sliding to catch that ball. I don't know if he could have caught it any other way. I don't know if he actually caught it there. It stays in the glove.
Howard checks on the curve. Let's look at this again, Sarge. I think you've got something here. Did it hit the ground before it went in the glove?
Well, let's see. I just saw a lot of bobbling than it is at the end of his glove. He made a good catch. Come in and take another look at it. Now that might be. From that side, looks like it hits the ground. From the other shot, looks like it landed in the glove. But clearly, that hit the ground.
Howard grounded out to first on a nice play by Helton in the second. Then grounded out to a Meziga in short right. 0 for 2.
Yeah, I see why you're asking, too. The question there with De La Rosa on whether or not he would have stole earlier, because he still has that same hesitation, not as deliberate, however, when he's winding up, but certainly still in the stretch, not using that slide step where he just barely picks it up. Just don't think he'll be running now, though. He's got to go on and let him finish up this at bat. Don't want to take a chance and getting thrown out at third base.
There he goes. And Ionetta's not even going to bother to throw to third, so Rollins steals third. That's the 9th stolen base for Rollins. You know, I thought when Polanco was up, it would be a good move, because then with less than 2 outs, a fly ball.
Well, he still would have been able to score, even catching that ball there.
And I know we've talked about this. I'd love to see them run more when they have the opportunity.
And in situations, too, though, if you can get there in less than 2 outs, you know, again, it's only a good play if you make it. And he made it.
In the air to left field. Gonzalez heading back. He has room. A few steps from the track, makes the catch. And the side is retired. No runs, 1 hit. 1 man left in scoring position. We've played 6. We go to the 7th with Phil's on top. Well, Wilson Valdez has had himself a good night, not only defensively but also offensively. And Cole Hamels has had himself a great night. He's retired 12 straight. And as we begin the 7th, he'll face Amezaga, Gonzalez, and Tulowitzki. 2, 3, and 4 for the Rockies. And it's no balls and 2 strikes. He's got everything working tonight. Fastball, cutter, curve, and of course the changeup.
Yeah, one thing we noticed early on him, all the swings and misses he's getting tonight. And that's really a good sign that he is good, really good stuff.
0-2 pitch. Got him. In the dirt. Picked up by Ruiz. Throws to first to finish off the strikeout. 7 strikeouts for Hamels.
And another swing and a miss. And, you know, his stuff is really going down tonight. You know, when he has that downward plane on his fastball, that really sets everything else up. And He has had that in this ball game. Time now for the Verizon Wireless game summary. Well, Phillies have scratched out a run tonight. As Tom mentioned, it was on a Wilson Valdez base hit. Cole has, well, he's just pitching great so far. And Jorge De La Rosa has been De La Rosa. You know, you get some base runners on him. He's exciting out there because he's a wild pitch. He'll hit guys. Bottom line is he's only given up one. He maybe shouldn't have done that on account of the pass ball. You don't know. You don't know whether or not you could have scored on that hard base hit by Valdez.
That pitch high, and it's 2 balls and no strikes to Gonzalez.
These are the 2 guys now, when you face them, you really worry about because they can pop them. Gonzalez from the left side and Troy Tulowitzki from the right side. See what he's done 7th inning or on or later.
Well, that's the thing about these two. I mean, they've struggled batting average wise this year. 234 for Gonzalez coming in, 255 for Tulowitzki coming in, but they've had big hits, and those 7th inning numbers for Gonzalez show that. He takes a strike at the knees. It's 3-1.
Get 2 big time players here. You know, these guys are stars. That kid right there, and not a kid anymore. He is really a good player. Outstanding shortstop too.
3-1 the count.
Looks like he really likes to play.
To left center field. That's pretty well hit. Martinez and Ibanez back, and it's off the top of the wall. Martinez plays it well and keeps Gonzalez at second. So he's aboard with a 1-out double.
Well, that's what we meant. You know, they're the 2 guys now that can do a lot of things, and they can hit the ball out of the ballpark. That was pretty impressive hitting there by Gonzalez. You got to think it was a fastball. It was right down the middle, and it almost leaves the yard to left center field. High off the wall there over the Southwest Airlines side. That's the problem for these pitchers right now. They just never seem to have any margin for error, and as good as they are, it's really hard to pitch that way.
Well, that ended a streak of 13 straight retired by Hamels. Here's Tulowitzki, 0 for 2. Fly to center his first time up, struck out his last time up, and he bends back on the first pitch, 1-0. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, Cubs have taken a 3-1 lead over the Marlins. Kosuke Fukudome has a couple hits and a run scored. Hit hard toward third. Diving stop. Polanco looks the runner back. Throws to first in time. 2 outs.
Made a play like that. Was it last night in St. Louis or the night before? Where, you know, all he does is just dive and stretch out, and it's all timing. Robs Tulowitzki of a base hit. This ball is scalded too. Nothing to do there but react, and Polanco makes another really, really good play. Maybe saved a run. Gonzalez probably wouldn't have scored on that because he had to make sure. Yeah, you see where he was. He has to make sure that ball goes through before he moves.
The subtleties of the game, though, too. Polanco, as he was getting to his feet, peeked back at Gonzalez, retreating to second, and then made the throw over to first.
Hey, you want to make sure he goes back if he can.
Helton's 0 for 2. And he hits one to left. Ibanez going back. That's going to be over his head, and the Rockies will tie the ball game up. Helton heading to second. The throw by Ibanez a little offline. And it's an opposite field double for Helton. It's a 1-1 game. Well, he decided to swing at the first pitch, and it drives in Gonzalez.
And Helton, another guy who's been pretty hot for them. And he just sliced that thing away from Ibanez, who had no chance. Seen Todd Helton do a lot of this stuff throughout his career. See it slicing, and it basically one-hops the wall out there.
So Gonzalez picked up speed as he was heading home because Ibanez made that throw to second. And if Helton was tagged out before Gonzalez scored, the inning would have been over and the run wouldn't have counted.
Right, that's why you're always supposed to run hard when you're scoring, because that's really embarrassing if that happens.
15 come from behind wins for the Rockies this season. Phillies hope that it's not number 16 tonight. Jose Lopez 1 for 2.
think Rich Doobie just went out there to slow Hamels down a little bit. Starting to rush things a little bit in this inning.
Glenn Allen Hill is collecting some of the gear over in the first base coach's box.
Oh, yeah, got all the shin guards, huh?
Decided not to put them on his arm like a lot of guys do. If there's a one hopper, he doesn't need to get out of the way. He can just block it.
That's what they used to do with Larry Anderson for pitchers fielding practice. Put shin guards on it.
Towering fly ball, short left center. Martinez calls off Ibanez. The side is retired, but the Rockies tie it up. Couple doubles in the inning. They leave one in scoring position. Time to stretch here at Citizens Bank Park. Pitched in relief for Colorado in the first ever Rocky shutout.
Well, I've been thinking about it, and the only guy I can remember who went there around that time would have been that former Texas Longhorn lefty Bruce Ruffin.
You are correct.
Ding.
April 14th, 94 versus the Phils.
Love that sound.
Log back onto Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. Thanks for playing Dodge Stump the Fans.
So much better than bzzz.
Sarge got a couple buzzers before.
We hired a little trouble with the grips, huh?
Yeah. John Mayberry leads it off here in the 7th against De La Rosa.
Well, that was kind of a tough thing you guys threw on him there. You know, just looking at somebody's grip of the bats.
Just having fun with El Sargento.
Yeah, well, I'm sure he made an honest effort.
Oh, and 2 the count. That ball went into the dugout, the Rockies dugout. Mayberry tonight is 0 for 2. He's popped to first. He's flied to center. De La Rosa's only thrown 71 pitches so far in tonight's game. Hamels has had a comfortable night as well.
Boy, they playing Mayberry to pull.
And he pulls it softly to short. Tulowitzki charges and zips the throw to first. One away. Well, these lucky fans are tonight's Citizens 7. They were each receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com. With 2 outs, here's Ibanez. Singled and scored in the 5th. The only run for the Phillies. Outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Both bullpens are quiet, as you would expect. Both pitchers have been pretty dominant tonight.
Yeah, they both maintained their stuff too. Hamels got hit a little bit last inning on some pitches up by two left-handed hitters, but stuff-wise, they're both throwing really well here late in the game.
De La Rosa a couple of years ago won 16 games for the Rockies back in 2009. Came back last year in less starts and won 8 games. And with Ubaldo Jimenez struggling so far this season, they've really needed him to step up, and he has, as he's won 5 games and lost just 1. There remains 1 ball, 2 strikes. He's second only to Darren Holmes. I guess that's kind of surprising because Holmes was more of a relief pitcher than a starter, but second to Darren Holmes in winning percentage in Rockies history. Curtis Leskanik is third.
How about that? That's a name you wouldn't think of.
No.
You wouldn't think about it as a pitcher with a, to have something that positive in a franchise.
How about Jimenez has not won a game this year?
It's amazing. It's a humbling game, Tom.
And a change up, and Ibanez out in front for the second out. So 2 away here in the 7th, and Carlos Ruiz will be the hitter. There's Ubaldo, who has put together one of the funnier commercials out there. I think Major League Baseball put it together. It may have been a Rockies commercial where he's at a store as they're traveling on a bus, he and his teammates, and he's looking for a license plate with the name Ubaldo on it.
How can they not have that? That is funny.
I mean, it's not exactly Roy Halladay and MLB 2K11, but it's pretty close.
Yeah, well, think, how can they not have my name? It's common.
I think it's De La Rosa who goes into the store telling Ubaldo that it was time to get back on the bus, that they had to go.
Vámonos.
Inside, 2 balls and no strikes.
Pitch count's very under control at this point too. He's only thrown 80.
Iannetta goes out to the mound because De La Rosa was pretty upset with himself that he missed on that pitch.
Yeah, he's just out there shooting the hose on him a little bit right now, cool him off, and not make a bad 2-0 pitch to Ruiz. They know they're behind in the count, and they don't want to get hurt right now on a 2-0 count.
Two 2-0 the count to Ruiz. And the Phils need a clutch hit or 2 late in this ball game. The thing about it is that they haven't hit many home runs either, and they have lived with the long ball the last couple of seasons.
Well, this lineup they have is not going to produce many long balls.
Fouled at the plate, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Antonio Bastardo firing away in the pen. Pitcher spot is up after Valdez, who's on deck. Hamels only thrown 94 pitches. See the Phillies total offensively in the last 5 games. No earned runs in the last 22 2/3.
Yeah, unearned run last night, unearned run tonight.
And another strikeout. Ruiz down swinging. Iannetta will finish off the strikeout with a toss to first. Back-to-back strikeouts for De La Rosa. Phillies go down in order here in the 7th. We move on to the 8th in a tie ball game. By Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines' new Rapid Rewards. Unlimited reward seats and no blackout dates. And by Jeep Brand. We don't just make SUVs, we make history. Now some of the Phils pitchers and Brian Schneider looking on from the dugout. Joe Blanton will go tomorrow for the Phillies. He's keeping an eye on what the Rockies have done tonight. Blanton 1-0 in his career against the Rockies. Just 2 ball games.
Both bullpens are working hard right now. As you see Joe's numbers against Colorado, you're in a 1-1 game late.
Grounded toward the hole, backhanded by Rollins, off balance throw on one hop, and it's off the glove of Howard. That ball was in the line, so there was no way Howard could hold on. It's going to be a hit for Spilborghs.
Yeah, ball's in the hole, and Rollins has to catch a throw in a hurry and hope he can one-hop it over there, and he throws it right into the runner. You see Ryan Howard was trying to catch it before the runner hit his glove, and he just didn't come up with it.
Well, that hit for the Rockies, just the 5th of the game for Colorado, the 9th overall for both teams. Spilborghs has stolen 1 base this year. We'll see what Iannetta does in this spot. And he takes inside, 1 ball and no strikes.
They do have De La Rosa in the on-deck circle, but they're probably thinking about hitting for him with Lindstrom up in the bullpen.
Just off the outside corner. Hamels is probably thinking, I've been getting that pitch all night.
You could tell by Ruiz's reaction they wanted that one.
Hamels tonight has struck out 7. And it's 2-1. Foul ball back toward the Hall of Fame club. So the Phillies and the Rockies, game 1 of this 2-game series. Along with Chris Wheeler, I'm Tom McCarthy. We're live from Citizens Bank Park. Another sellout. This is game 1 of 9 on this homestand for the Phillies. Trying to find a little offensive swagger again. Two and 1 the count. Swing and a miss. It's 2-2. That cutter had some late movement on it. I tell you, there have been games where he's thrown that pitch, which he just learned a year or so ago. He's thrown that pitch more than any other pitch he has. Line drive to left. Ibanez coming on, makes the catch. 1 away.
We threw a fastball there, and Iannetta was all over it, and De La Rosa will go back.
On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Marlins have now taken the lead over the Cubs 5-3. Greg Dobbs, 2 RBIs, has a double and a run scored. Phillies lead the division by a half game. De La Rosa went back to the dugout, but he went back to change his bat.
Yeah.
I guess he has a specific bat that he uses.
This is his bunting bat.
For specific situations. He's 0 for 2.
Because if they're leaving him in the game here, he's going to bunt.
Yeah, he's way up in the box. Already is showing bunt. And he takes low. I'm not sure what the difference is between bats, but it would be an interesting question to ask. Maybe it's a little lighter. Maybe it's I don't know.
Yeah. He's a pitcher. You think he knows?
He deadens it to third. Polanco looks to second. And he hesitated for a moment while Valdez was trying to avoid the first base umpire.
And a left-handed pitcher at that. So you know there's some goofy reason involved.
Sacrifice goes 5-4. Hey fans, if you're looking to take a road trip with the Phillies, they have 3 different opportunities for you coming up. Seattle, Toronto, and DC in August. It's all part of the Phillies road trips hosted by Scott Palmer and the Bull. You can go to Phillies.com/road trips or call 877-833-7326. I went to Seattle a couple times last football season. It is a beautiful place, and I'm sure even prettier now as we get closer to the summer.
It's a smaller version of San Francisco. People who like San Francisco with the type of weather with water all around, Seattle reminds you of that.
Again, 877-833-7326. Dexter Fowler takes inside. 1 ball and no strikes. You might be surprised to see that, just as you would be surprised to see that Valdez is the Phillies' leading scorer or leading hitter with runners in scoring position. 1 ball, 1 strike to count.
That's a good job by De La Rosa, the pitcher, to bunt him over. That's what they wanted. They liked the way that he's pitching, and they had confidence he could get the runner into scoring position. They want to keep him in the game. But pitcher can really help himself stay in ball games if they can execute like that.
A foul ball, and it's 1-2, and Ruiz will give Ed Hickox a moment. That ball got a piece of Hickox. Hamels is allowed a run in 7 2/3 tonight. During the last 12 games now, the Phils starters have averaged over 6 innings per outing. And here they come with their feet. Probably the last pitch of the night if he can get it out here. In the dirt, 2-2. Ruiz liked that spot. He pointed out to Hamels.
Well, he wanted to throw a change up there and keep it down and away. See if they could get Fowler to chase, either strike him out or have a week out to end the inning.
Two balls, 2 strikes the count. Got him. Out in front. 8 strikeouts for Hamels, and he leaves one in scoring position. 8 strong innings for Cole Hamels tonight. The Phillies and the Rockies tied at 1. No offense, no matter. Hamels in control, keeping the Rockies hitters way off balance all throughout the night. Unique collectibles, including the official dugout lineup card from Cliff Lee's 16th strikeout game. There's also a game-worn Roy Halladay jersey and more. Look for Phillies Authentics auction on the homepage at Phillies.com. Bottom of the 8th, Phillies and Rockies tied at 1. It'll be Valdez, then a pinch hitter, you would think, for Hamels. And Francisco's out of the on-deck circle for the Phillies. And the top of the order. Valdez has the lone RBI tonight for the Phillies. That was back in the 5th. He's 1 for 2.
Boy, are they guarding the line? Some teams guard the line and then look what they're
All right, now they just moved him over a little bit.
He's really close.
He was literally an inch next to the third base bag.
On the first 2 pitches.
And Valdez saw him move back, so decided to try a bunt.
Right, they had played way up on the line at the bag early in the count to take away a bunt, and as Tom says, he saw him back up, so he decided to try and bunt. But nice idea, didn't work. Now you're in the hole.
No swings as Ed Rapuano. 2-2 the count to Valdez. Ryan Matson's throwing in the bullpen for the Phillies. He hasn't worked in a couple of days. Phillies haven't needed the closer in the last few days since they've lost 4 straight. They hope they can use him tonight. Liner to left. That's going to be in for a base hit. Gonzalez gets to it quickly. Valdez rounds first, and he'll hold up there. Look at that arm. Wow, was that a heck of a throw. So Valdez has his second hit.
And it wasn't in hard enough to get it to the corner. Now they're going to bring Victorino out the bunt, it looks like.
Yeah, Victorino, they said, it is getting better. Bob Apodaca is going to go out to the mound and talk to De La Rosa. And Shane has said the last couple of days he's felt like he could hit. Now, the running part of it has been difficult. And he is a favorite, boy. Ruben Amaro said today that he didn't think that Victorino would need an MRI, that he was progressing nicely. And Victorino said that he was hoping to get into a game. Well, obviously tonight he's in as a pinch hitter, but to start again sometime in the next couple of days.
Right, and he, as you said, they know it. You know, he's up there to bunt because the Phillies had shown Francisco who was going to bat if nobody was on base. So, you know, Shane is very, very good bunter. And the idea is to get Wilson Valdez in a scoring position.
Lopez, the third baseman, way in on the grass at third.
Yeah, you want the first baseman to field this.
And he bunts it in the air. It dies on the grass. De La Rosa picks it up. And the sacrifice is successful.
It's a good job by Shane Victorino. As we said, you want the first baseman to field it because he has to come further for it. And that's exactly what he had him do. Bunted it to the right side of the diamond. Got the job done.
And now it's up to Valdez, or excuse me, Rollins, to bring in Valdez.
See right there? It's in the air a little bit, but, you know, De La Rosa goes over, makes a play. You see Helton's going to charge. He's going to be coming down here, and then he knows the second baseman has the responsibility behind him, and they get the 1-4 sack.
So Victorino gets the sacrifice. Rollins is the batter. The on-deck hitter is Michael Martinez. We'll see if Charlie Manuel decides to roll the dice and bring Francisco out to hit for him if Rollins gets on or doesn't get the job done. I say Francisco because Glode, I don't think Charlie would use him lefty on lefty.
Not the way this guy handles left-handed hitters. Another reason why they left him in the game, I think, that you know, they like the way he's pitching, but they figured they'd try and get that 2-out run and keep him in the game, keep the left-handed pinch hitters on the bench. Because they had Lindstrom, a right-hander, ready to come in if they'd have hit for De La Rosa.
Off the glove of Iannetta, and it scoots back toward the warning track. A wild pitch, the 6th of the year for De La Rosa.
Yeah, well, that can be right around the corner with De La Rosa. He's got to be tough to catch. Had a one-pass ball tonight. Now, did Iannetta pancake this one? Yep. See what he did with it is, as opposed to turning the glove the other way and using your body to deaden it, he pancaked it. And when a catcher does that, a lot of times it's going to hit hard off the glove and it can bounce away. And then your body's not in front of it, obviously. And there's your wild pitch. They'll bring the infield in.
1 out, 1 ball, no strikes to Rollins. Valdez at third. A 1-1 game. Rollins, fly ball, right center field. Spilborgh's coming on, makes the catch. Valdez tags, heading for home. The throw to the plate on 1 hop, not in time. And the Phillies take the lead.
Shot by Jimmy Rollins to get the job done. Looked like Spilborghs took an extra step.
And they're going to appeal third base, thinking Valdez left early. And a safe side by the third base umpire.
He looked like he went back, and I don't know, maybe they thought he didn't get to the bag in time, but he did go back. It was a good job by Valdez and Juan Samuel to make him go back. Yeah, he went back. Now, did he leave early?
Nope.
Nope. But see the extra steps Spilborghs took there? I think he was a little off balance because he had a lunge for that thing to catch him a little bit. It took him another step to maintain his balance, and that cost him. Jimmy got the job done. Good base running by Valdez.
Well, the Phillies have manufactured a run here in the 8th.
Hey, you think how important it was to get that bunt down?
Martinez 0 for 2. The inning started with Valdez's single. Went to second on the sac, third on the wild pitch, and scored on the sacrifice fly by Rollins.
So the Phillies have scored their 2 runs tonight by balls clanking off the catcher. And Ryan Madson's ready to come in and see if the Phillies can keep that nice stat you showed earlier about the fewest blown saves.
Martinez out in front, and it's grounded to third, 0-1. Martinez is 0 for 2. He sacrificed his last time.
And he's going to have Gonzalez, Tulowitzki second and third. If anybody gets on, Helton. So, you know, it'll be a tough save.
So the pitcher of record on the winning side is Cole Hamels. Rockies have bullpen action. Paulino and Morales.
Former Phillies #1 pick Jim Wright there as their bullpen coach. Just showed him real quick. Tim's been a pitching coach throughout his career. Major league pitching coach, minor league. In fact, Pete McCann and he worked together in the minor leagues.
Really, the catcher has to be on his toes with this guy.
Well, his stuff is explosive.
Grounded his shortstop to his left, Tulowitzki. He's up with it, fires. Martinez is retired. So are the Phillies, but the damage is done. The Phillies have manufactured a run here in the 8th. It began with Valdez, then the sacrifice bunt by Victorino, the wild pitch by De La Rosa, followed by the sacrifice fly by Jimmy Rollins. And now it's time for Ryan Madson. The Phillies have a chance to pick up a save. Ryan Matson will come out of the bullpen in his 17th game. He's 2-0, a 0.56 earned run average, 6 saves and 6 opportunities. Matson hasn't worked since the 13th of May against the Braves, so it's been a few days. That's because the Phillies have lost 4 consecutive ball games. So it's been 5 days since Ryan Matson last worked, but he's done a very good job. And Seth Smith will pinch hit for Alfredo Meziga here in the top of the 9th. It'll be Smith, Gonzalez, and Tulowitzki. 2 lefties and a righty against Ryan Matson. Smith this year hitting .280, has 4 home runs, 18 RBIs. And Matson delivers the ball inside 1-0. There's a Meziga. I think the Phillies really wanted to get Matson into a ball game last night, and they were hoping they could.
Right, they'd had to take the lead because you don't use your closer for 2 on the road. So they never took the lead, so he never got into the game.
Smith fouls it back. It's 2-1. He's 0 for 2 as a pinch hitter. Now the Phillies bullpen, that's how good they've been. 22-0 this season when leading after 8. And the starters have been very good. There's no question about it. But the back end of the bullpen has done its job and then some. Changeup just missed. 3-1. Gonzalez on deck. And Tulowitzki waits behind him. Line drive down the right field line. It's a fair ball and it skips to the corner. Smiths are out first, heading to second. He'll get there. It's a leadoff double here in the top of the 9th.
Guys, every time we see Seth Smith, he seems to do something well. He's a pretty good player. He's got some power too, and he got ahead in the count, and he got a fastball, kept it fair by plenty. Now, of course, they're going to try and get him over, get him in, tie the game.
So Carlos Gonzalez, who doubled his last time up, he's 2 for 3 in the game. Singled back in the first, struck out looking in the 4th. And he scored the only run for the Rockies tonight. Change up, and Gonzalez was thinking fastball out in front. 0-1. Phillies bullpen a 2.91 earned run average this year. Oh, and 2 the count. So he's ahead of Gonzalez. No balls and 2 strikes.
For Matson or Weasel, what kind of pitch they try to make. You know, his strikeout pitch a lot of times is a changeup, but it's also the type of pitch that's slow enough. If he hits it, he'll pull it and get him over. Now, whether they want to go changeup or maybe see if he'll chase a high fastball.
0-2 the count. Way inside, and it's 1-2.
Well, they decided on the fastball there, and I don't know if that was supposed to be the location in or not.
Smith is on second. Got him. Went back to the changeup. 1 away.
Yeah, he used the changeup, and you know that's his strikeout pitch, and that's what he wanted there. If he could get a strikeout, he got it, And he also knows that that's a pitch that he could hook and get the runner over. But they decided to go with a changeup, his best pitch in a strikeout situation, and he got a good hitter to chase. Nice job.
So now a Comfort's on the mound. Troy Tulowitzki is due up with a runner at second and 1 out. Tulowitzki tonight is 0 for 3, robbed by Polanco his last time up on a beautiful play over at third. Tulowitzki only has 2 at-bats against Matson. He's 0 for 2.
Got to watch that runner at second now. You see him look back a couple times. You don't even have to be a base stealer to do it in this situation. You know, if the pitcher falls asleep.
Smith has stolen 3 bases this season. And the count is even now, 1 ball and 1 strike.
A guy could really get a big lead at second base and time it if the pitcher does the same thing all the times or doesn't look back. And you see Madsen, Ryan's doing a good job of giving him some head bobs. Looks like Valdez is a guy that's supposed to keep him close.
Oh, he's ahead of Tulowitzki now. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Hey, get a complete recap of Cole Hamels' pitching matchup with Jorge De La Rosa plus Eagles first-round pick. Danny Watkins teams up with fellow Eagles Todd Harrimans and Brent Selleck for the first time to help the community. Get all the news Philly fans need to know on Sports Night after the ballgame on Comcast Sportsnet. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the count to Troy Tulowitzki. The tying runs at second. 1 out here at the top of the 9th. Matson is ready. Looks back at second. Wow, that was awfully close.
Carlos Ruiz moved a little bit to catch that. And I don't know whether it was outside or not, or whether the movement fools the umpire. It's supposed to be in. That's a strike, isn't it?
Was earlier today.
You know, he missed his spot. You know, you see how much he missed his spot by, and sometimes that can fool the umpire when the catcher moves his glove that much. Maybe it was low, because it sure looked like it caught the plate.
I think he called him out on strikes on that same pitch earlier in the game.
I think it was the movement from in to the way that he moved his glove, and it fooled him.
So now it's 2-2. Boy, he had him way out in front, and he just got a piece of it. Seth Smith's on second. He led off the inning with a double. A strikeout of Gonzalez. Now 2-2 the count to Tulowitzki. Got him. Another changeup. Back-to-back strikeouts for Matson.
How about this decision coming right now? You got Todd Helton, who really hurts Ryan Matson. A base open. And the old thing is you don't walk the winning run, right? That's the book. Here's that changeup, as Tom described it. He had him struck out before that, but so justice prevailed. Really a good changeup got Tulowitzki to chase. Now here comes Rich Doobie out, and they're going to talk about this. You know, and this is one of those ones, if you're going to pitch careful to him, walk him, because this guy can hit it anywhere. But they know the numbers right now. Matson against Helton are not good for Ryan Matson. 5 for 8, and you got a guy on deck who hasn't faced him. That's why this game is so much fun, because there's all kinds of ideas going on right now.
625 average, as Wheels just mentioned, against Matson. They've decided what they're going to do, and now we'll find out. A couple of years ago, this would have been a no-brainer. You'd pitch to Todd Helton, but he has figured something out.
Still standing up is Ruiz. Nope.
Now he's going down. So at least to start, they'll pitch to Helton in some way. He's 1 for 3 with an RBI double.
And Helton's thinking maybe they're going to pitch around me. Maybe, I don't know. Guessing game. And you would think, you know, he's going to take a strike there, or he's going to take a pitch, and then another time a guy will think, well, maybe he's not going to pitch around me and he'll chase. In that case, spit on it. Yeah, they're not pitching to him. You know, this is a point where you'd like to say put him on. This guy was really flailing at Hamels' changeup earlier.
Three and 0 the count.
The crowd's murmuring everything about a walk, but you know that's what that conversation was. Now you can see Charlie just said put him on, and you know they trusted Madsen. That's a lot of trust right there to do that. You know that he can at this point in his career will not get hurt there, because a lot of times guys get hurt when they're trying to pitch around somebody.
So Jason Giambi will come out as a pinch hitter for the Rockies,
and that's the other thing that they knew could happen, that they would make this move. But I think they still didn't want to get beaten by. They didn't want to get beaten there by Helton, and they'll take their chances with the veteran Giambi, who also has a heck of a chance to walk.
Giambi's never faced Ryan Madsen before. He's turned into a pretty good pitch hitter in the twilight of his career.
And he's very patient. He really waits for strikes. Ryan, that's good. Take a walk, take a deep breath. That's why this job that he has now inherited is one of the toughest, if not the toughest job on a team.
Giambi's hitting $120 this year.
Boy, he doesn't swing at bad balls, and that was close.
Giambi's hit 415 home runs in his career.
He threw a cutter there and tried something different.
2-0 the count.
That's what Giambi does. He runs deep counts with anybody. Guy really knows the strike zone.
Well, he's been struggling this year. And he lines one foul, and it's 2-1.
Well, he was in hitting mode that time. He thought he was going to get a fastball. He got a change up and pulled a foul.
Both their boilers are moving right now.
Oh, you see the tension in both their faces.
Phillies have lost 4 straight. They need a win. And a called strike 2. He argues after every pitch that he takes for a strike.
He never thinks, well, I shouldn't say never, rarely thinks a called strike is a strike for him. He thinks this is high. And he had a point. In today's game, he did. That should be a strike by that pitch.
2-2 the count. Swing and a miss. He got him with the cutter. It dove in on the hands of Giambi, and he's down on strikes, and the Phillies' losing streak has come to a close. You could breathe a sigh of relief as the Phillies win it 2-1. What a night for the pitchers. Ryan Madsen finishes things off for Cole Hamels, who was outstanding through 8 innings tonight against the Rockies. And although Madsen allowed a couple base runners here in the ninth, he picked up 3 strikeouts along the way to earn his 7th save in 7 opportunities.
Chevrolet player of the game. What a job by Cole Hamels tonight. Philly started pitching had just been great. Everybody knows that. They've been struggling with their offense, and he did a great job. Held him to 1 run, walked 1, struck out 7, struck out 8, and just was dealing tonight. Had a tremendous changeup, had a lot of swings and misses. And as a result, he is our Chevrolet player of the game.
Well, that win for Cole Hamels, his 5th of the year. Ryan Madsen earned his 7th save, as we said, in 7 opportunities, and he's down on the field with Sarge. Sarge, take it away.
Hey.